Welcome to Driving Wellbeing and Inclusion with Microsoft Teams. My name is Chris Bryan, and I am a Senior Product Marketing Manager for Microsoft Teams. Joining me today is Ali Ober.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ali, and I'm a Product Marketing Manager focused on accessibility within Microsoft Teams.
To be at their best, people need to feel included, encouraged to be present during their personal time, and empowered with the right tools to set them up for success in their role. Today, we will show you a couple of tips and tricks to help you support a culture that prioritizes these using Teams. We will cover two main topics during our time together: well-being and inclusion.
Now more than ever, it really feels important to focus on our well-being. All of the systems we may have had in place before we all went remote were challenged and had to evolve. Thankfully, the goal is constant. We know what it feels like when we're at our best. Like Chris said, we're empowered to deliver great work. We have the tools we need. Our managers and teams make our work feel valued, make us feel valued. We feel comfortable and confident sharing our full self, our authentic self with our collaborators at work. And we're able to be completely present at work and then set it aside and be completely present when we leave and go home. So one of the most important ways to achieve this vision is to prioritize well-being. And Chris is going to take us through some of the ways you can do that with Teams.
Thank you, Ali. A couple of factors that impact your well-being in the workplace include your ability to feel balance across your personal and professional life, as well as feeling emotionally supported and in control of your time during the day. Let me show you a couple of tips for this. From taking a vacation to logging off for the day to stepping away to watch your kids for 5 minutes, transitions from work to life and from life to work are becoming more and more pervasive, especially now that we work and experience our personal life in the same space. There are a couple of ways Teams enables you to better manage these transitions and empowers you to provide visibility to others. Let's start with your status message. This is a great way to surface information to others as they try to reach out to you in Teams and provide more information about what you're up to. You can give people a heads up that you will not be available for a specific period of time and decide how long will the message be displayed. This gives people an opportunity to adjust when and how they reach out to you to reduce the amount of messages you will receive while you're away and reduces expectation of an immediate reply. As you can see here, once you set up your status message, it will be displayed when people reach out to you. The status message gives you the flexibility to surface the level of information you want to show. In this case, Megan has decided to include why she will not be available during this specific period of time. In her status message, Megan says that she will be helping her daughter with remote learning. This allows others to build empathy. Presence is another powerful way to surface information about your availability to others. We recently rolled out real-time presence, which increases the accuracy of your status so others know when to reach out to you. It also improves how fast calendar events that impact your presence status take effect, such as out-of-office holds in your calendar. We're announcing 2 additional improvements to presence rolling out soon. First, offline mode, which allows you to set your presence to offline. This will give you the ability to access your information in Teams while reducing the likelihood of people reaching out to you. This is a great option when you need to stay productive, but you only have a couple of minutes to get things done, but not enough to actually have a meaningful real-time collaboration with others. We're also giving you control of your presence status with the ability to change your presence for a specific period of time. Do you need to do a quick errand for the next 30 minutes? You can schedule your status to away in addition to add a status message as we mentioned before. With around-the-clock access to your mobile, it is hard to disconnect and break free from emails and chat notifications. Teams on mobile puts you in control, giving you great flexibility to define the source of notifications you receive, and more importantly, it helps you define quiet hours, when all Teams notifications are suspended. You can set a specific time of the day when you want Teams to hold your notifications or choose entire days. Again, help you disconnect from work. Now, let's talk about emotional well-being at work. Our research shows that employee well-being is more important to productivity than ever. Creating an emotional supportive environment is key to keeping people healthy, happy, and focused. First, the Reflect messaging extension gives manager, leaders, and teachers an easy way to check on how their team and students are feeling, either in general or about a specific topic like work-life balance, the status of a project, current events, or a change within the organization. IT administrators are able to install the Reflect messaging extension from GitHub and make it available to their employees via the messaging extension menu. Once installed, the extension provides suggested check-in questions and the ability to add custom questions that team members can respond in a poll-like experience. Managers or teachers can also choose to make the poll results anonymous. Now let's talk about feeling valued. People are happy and more productive when they get recognition for their efforts. Praise in Microsoft Teams allows you to send a claim to your employees and coworkers. They can be sent in a chat, or for wider recognition, send it in a channel conversation. It is as simple as choosing a badge, adding the name of the person you want to praise, and an optional description. I actually used this feature earlier today to praise a teammate who is doing a great job updating our web pages. Taking steps to engage and recognize employees can go a long way to improve their emotional well-being, satisfaction, and reduce turnover. Now let's talk about feeling in control and able to deliver your best work. It's not uncommon to spend all day in meetings, writing emails and chats, or on the phone, leaving little time to focus on what is important to you. Many of us have never-ending to-do lists, constantly changing focus because people reach out to us throughout the day to add things to the list, or with asks that should not take very long. Information worker studies find that it takes an average of 23 minutes to return to your original task after interruptions and self-distractions. To help you limit these when you're trying to get deep, meaningful work done, Microsoft Teams will automatically switch your present status to focusing when you schedule focus time via My Analytics. During this time, you will only get notifications from messages that are urgent or from contacts with priority access. I'm a big believer of focus time. I am a morning person and I have focus time periods scheduled during my morning to focus on tasks that requires my undivided attention. Now, as we mentioned before, a lot of us are spending the majority of our day in meetings. They are a great way to come together as a team and collaborate real time. However, the move from in place to remote work has changed the dynamic a little. While in traditional in-person meetings, you have the natural break while you're walking from conference to conference room, online meetings are a little different. You can drop off from a meeting and immediately join the next one without the ability to reset before you join the next discussion. This can be overwhelming and sometimes stressful. A good way to address this for you and your fellow coworkers is to automatically end your meetings a few minutes early by enabling these from the calendar options in Outlook. You can choose a different duration for meetings under 1 hour and meetings over an hour. Personally, I have this set up so I can quickly grab a glass of water and walk around before my next meeting, again giving me a couple of minutes to recharge. Now, at a time when people are conducting more virtual meetings than ever, our research shows that many of us feel less connected since moving to remote work, and experience more fatigue during video meetings than during in-person collaboration. Together mode is an option in the Teams meetings experience that uses AI segmentation technology to place participants in a shared background. This makes it feel like you're sitting in the same room, which reduces background distractions, makes it easier to pick up on nonverbal cues, and makes the back and forth conversation feel more natural. The view is great for things like brainstorming and round tables where multiple people are speaking.
I absolutely love Together Mode. I use it in all of my team meetings. It's completely changed the way I participate and how I feel when I participate in meetings. So highly recommend using that feature. I want to shift gears a little bit and talk about inclusion broadly. So inclusion of each of us and the unique and diverse qualities and backgrounds we bring with us to work. So first, I'm going to show you a quick trick I use to share my preferences with my colleagues and how you and your teams might be able to do the same. And then I'm going to take you through a closer look at some of the capabilities that that can make the workplace more inclusive of remote workers and of people with disabilities. So first, for that quick trick, being able to comfortably share your full self at work is definitely one of the things that we're aiming for, and we want to make it really easy for you. So, here you'll see an example of how Diego is doing that. So he's bringing his own profile picture, and it says "love all" over it. He's showing in his status message that he's proactively sharing the pronouns he prefers and that he's going to be participating in Pride festivities. And that's why he's going to be spending some time away from work. And he's also customizing his background image with a Pride-specific image so that when he joins a meeting, he can demonstrate and show what matters to him to all of the people he works with. So now anyone who works with him can ask him about his experience at Pride and get to know him a little bit better and use the pronouns he prefers right off the bat. So now I want to quickly talk about the hybrid workplace. So many of us are now familiar with the experience of remote work. So for a long time, the experience of working remote has sometimes left you feeling a little excluded. So I've worked remote for many years before we started going remote in the past 6 months. And it was really common for collaborators of mine that were in the conference room to start working on a whiteboard and get excited about the vision that they were developing together. And then I couldn't see what they were writing, because I was calling in. Or they were kicking off a meeting, going around the table and introducing themselves, and they were forgetting to give me an opportunity to introduce myself because I was calling in. Or, I wanted to participate in some vibrant, excited discussion happening in the room, and I can't find my moment to get a word in edgewise. So I want to play a quick video for you to showcase some of the innovations we've been working on that make this hybrid workplace a little bit more inclusive for remote workers. Roll the video.
Cortana, start my meeting.
Joining your 2:30 p.m.
Previously, people in the room generally had a better meeting experience than people joining from other places.
Cortana, join my next meeting.
Now, as some people are returning to the workplace, Microsoft Teams and Teams devices can help make the meeting experience feel more alike and more inclusive for everyone. The intelligent speaker for Microsoft Teams rooms uses AI to recognize people's voices, so the transcript not only shows what was said, it shows who said it. That way, people who aren't in the room can easily follow along, and anyone can catch up on anything they missed. The raise hand feature lets people know you have something to say, which makes it easier to participate in the conversation. And intelligent capture helps people who aren't in the room see more of what's happening in it. So while we may not all be in the same place, Microsoft can help us feel more like we are.
So you see, with smart whiteboard capture that makes this writing on the whiteboard transparent so I can see through and actually participate equally in the brainstorming session, or that intelligent speaker that can distinguish between who in the room is speaking and actually attribute captions to the right person so that when I'm looking at the captions, know who's speaking. When I can raise my hand in the meeting room or when I call in and get my word in, contribute my thoughts to this inclusive discussion that we all want to have. With the support of technology and this increased empathy that we all now have being remote workers, many of us now, we can make that hybrid workplace a little bit more inclusive. So now I want to tell you a little bit about background blur. So you probably know about background blur, but one thing you might not know about background blur is that it was developed by a Microsoft engineer as part of a hack project. And her name is Sweta, and she happens to be deaf. She conceived of this capability because she was using video conferencing to communicate with her parents back in India, where she's from. And she was getting distracted by the movement in the background while her parents called her while they were talking, and the lights in the background. She just wanted to be able to focus in on her parents' faces and see their lips. She needs to see their lips because she was using lip reading as a way to understand what her parents were saying to her. Because of Sweta's diverse experience and this innovation that she developed to meet her need, we all get to benefit. So, in this remote workplace, we're working from wherever we're working. So you can turn on background blur, and you're welcome in the meeting, regardless of whether you're working from the unfinished basement, the laundry room, the roof of your apartment building, a kitchen table, wherever you're working from, you're welcome in the meeting, and you as the participant in the meeting get to choose how much you share. So if you, by having that power, instead of having that decision made for you, you can feel a little more included in the meeting. Sweta's story is a perfect example of why it's important to empower your employees with disabilities. They're brilliant, and they will come up with fantastic ideas to support your business. So I want to spend the rest of our time talking about how to make your workplace more inclusive of employees with disabilities. And so, much of disability is invisible. So learning disabilities like dyslexia, hearing loss, low vision, color blindness, mental health conditions, none of these are visible and obvious to the observer. However, they're huge populations and a critical piece of the diversity that your employees bring to the table, bring to your company. And so if they're not intentionally included, then they're unintentionally excluded. And so I'm going to walk you through some of the capabilities built right into Teams that can make the workplace a little bit more inclusive of those employees with disabilities that work at your company. So I'll start with keyboard shortcuts. You may think of keyboard shortcuts as just a quick way to get things done, easier, faster, save yourself some time, don't use the mouse. But really, actually, keyboard shortcuts are critical for people who are blind or low vision and who use screen readers to navigate applications. So keyboard shortcuts can save screen reader users a lot of time. We've been doing a lot to make sure that experience is great, especially for time critical tasks. So you'll see here that within Microsoft Teams meetings, you can toggle your video on and off quickly with a keyboard shortcut, mute on and off, background blur on and off, quickly bring up that share tray so you can find the content you're looking for a share. You can leave a meeting quickly. So many great things that you can do just with a few quick shortcuts. Next, talk about dark themes. So many people experience eye strain and eye fatigue at their computers that emit lots of blue light for long periods of time throughout their workday, even increasingly now. So people lose sleep a little bit when they are exposed to too much blue light, especially when they're looking at their phones right before they go to bed and start to wind down. So dark mode on Teams Mobile and on Teams Desktop gives you an alternative with less blue light so that you can give your eyes a break and get some sleep more easily. Being able to dictate written content rather than write sentences is particularly helpful for the many adults with learning disabilities like dyslexia that work at your company. So instead of spending a lot of time typing out a document or a response to an email or chat, with Dictate built right into Teams, they can just speak response aloud and have that written down for them.
Are encouraged to contribute their ideas to this list. New line. We will discuss ideas in our weekly stand-up meetings.
Now we have Immersive Reader. So I work with someone who has dyslexia. She's an unbelievable storyteller, very charismatic, and she runs trainings with our customers. So her colleagues make a lot of training materials for her to customize and make her own and learn and practice. And usually those training materials are, long documents filled with text. So because of her dyslexia, she has a particular way that she can best read. And that way is with Immersive Reader. So let me just show you how it works. Now, let's say you have a long chat message from a colleague. You press the ellipses on that chat, and then it opens up in Immersive Reader. You can make that text bigger. You can change the background color. You can spread the letters apart. You can make syllables within the word so it's easier to read. You can turn on line focus, and you can have the content read aloud.
Grady Archie at Monday, August 31st, 2020, 3:30 p.m. Hi Megan, thank you for sending. I have very minor feedback for you below. Otherwise the deck looks great.
Now we have live captions and transcripts. So live captions and transcripts are a critical way to make meetings more inclusive of people who are hard of hearing, who have learning disabilities like dyslexia, and who are calling in from a noisy environment. Maybe they're working near their kiddos and they want to have that extra reinforcement of what's being said in the meeting. So it also might be helpful for employees who are deaf, who may find live captions valuable as an additional piece of information on top of what they're getting from their sign language interpreter who they may be working with. So as you see here, when you join that meeting, you can select the ellipses up top and turn on live captions, turn on transcription. Those live captions will appear right at the bottom of your meeting screen, and you'll see the speaker name as well, and the transcript will appear on the right. The words spoken in the meeting will all be available in real time. Really helpful to have that additional information reinforced in the form of captions and transcripts. And finally, we have customizable captions and searchable transcripts. So For those meetings that you want to record, you have even more flexibility with captions. So you can open up the Teams meeting that you recorded, customize the caption size. You can change the color of the font. You can change the color of the background of the caption, all to match your preferences. So great for people who have low vision as well, who might want those captions to be pretty big at the bottom. You can also click out and watch the video, the meeting recording within Stream, and you can see a transcript on the right-hand side of the video and search through that transcript and jump right to the part that you want to review. So now, to wrap it up, we want to leave you with some great next steps. We're really excited about the research that we're doing and hope that you will take a look at the Work Trend Index to understand what we're learning about well-being that informs the research that Chris referenced when he was talking about Together Mode. And we hope you'll, if you haven't already started this conversation about well-being and inclusion within your organization, we hope you'll do that, and we hope that you'll talk about, how can we, support employee well-being, build this inclusive culture, and what is the role of technology, and how can technology help us build that culture that we imagine. We have lots of learning resources available for you, so you can learn more about inclusive features that you can make available to your workers today. You can take a class on MS Learn. You can train yourself on accessibility and inclusion. You can always reach out to us at the Disability Answer Desk and the Enterprise Disability Answer Desk with any specific questions about accessibility that you may have. We're always here to help and happy to do so. And finally, here's some learning resources that you can spread around to your team and share with your collaborators. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope that you learned something that you can start using right today.